Hi everyone, my name is Lorenza. I studied fashion. I've been sewing about 25 years. I'm here to show you how to make your sewing look more professional. Now, this beautiful skirt I'm showing here is a skirt I posted on my grid quite a few months ago, and I did a few close-ups of the hem, and it's a double folded hem, and many people asked if I could do a tutorial on how to sew it. So here is how to sew a beautiful double folded hem. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you need to sew along the hem at 1 centimeter. Now you can mark it on if you feel like you need to, but I don't think you need to. Just put some painter's tape on your sewing machine and just sew it along the edge of the hem at 1 centimeter. So we'll take it over to the machine now, and that is what we'll do. So I'm just going to sew down there just 1 centimeter. Now you can do this on a slightly bigger stitch, but I tend to just do it on a normal stitch. Up to you. It really depends on what your fabric's like. If your fabric is wanting to bunch when you're going to be doing stitches like this, either make it a bit longer or loosen off that tension. But we just want basically a nice stay stitch going along 1 centimeter the whole way along your hem. And you can sew this as fast as you want, as long as you get it accurate with where you're sewing it at the 1 centimeter mark. So I'm sewing here on a Juki Industrial, if anyone's curious. So once you put your foot flat on these, they go pretty fast. Now I'm also only doing like a portion of fabric here, but if this was a hem, like I said, you could just put your foot flat and just sew that 1 centimeter the whole way along. So just do it from one side seam of the skirt, or the center front or the center back, all the way round to the other side seam or center front. So it's whole way around the circumference of the skirt hem. So here we have, we've sewn that 1 centimeter on. And now what we're going to do, you'd usually do this on an ironing board, but I'm doing it on a video. So we're just going to press that 1 centimeter strip of fabric down essentially. And we're using the stitch line there. That is your fold line. So that is the most important thing about doing a double folded hem. We've done that stitch, and now we're going to press it down. So like I said, that stitching is your fold line. And I found when I was first doing this, it's like the iron almost wants to do it a mil off, but really try and press that iron and make sure that fold line is on that stitch line. Now it really helps with this stitch line. You can kind of pull it from the top side of the fabric in a nice straight taut line and then iron along it. So that's just what you're going to do the whole way around the hem. Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but you see there now it's looking quite nicely folded and pressed on that stitch line. Now what we're going to do is take scissors and we're going to trim it down. Now the amount that you're trimming it down really depends on the width of this double folded hem you want. Now this is quite a heavy taffeta, polyester taffeta fabric I was doing with this skirt, and I didn't want like a tiny hem because I was worried it might look a bit curly or wavy, so I wanted a bit of a bulkier hem. So you can see here when I was trimming it down, I trimmed it in half basically. So I am trimming 5 mil off and leaving 5 mil on. But if you're doing something like a chiffon, I would trim it down even closer. I'd probably go down to 3 mil. Basically as comfortable as you are trimming to that stitch line. And I know it might feel stressful, you're thinking it's going to just start fraying, but remember that stitching is what will stop the fraying. So even if it wants to fray a little bit, don't be too alarmed about it. Just like I said, that stitching will absolutely stop the fraying. So we're just going to trim the whole way along. Again, this is probably the longest part when you're doing this hem, because you've just sewn it all and you've pressed it all, and now you're trimming off half of it. So either trim off half if you want a 5 mil, 6 mil kind of finished seam, or if you want something finer where you're working with a finer fabric, I'd trim it down to about a 3 mil. Now what we're going to do essentially is you're going to be stitching. So you see I just folded it again, that is our double folded hem, and we're going to be stitching again almost on top of that stitch line, a little bit off it. But we don't want to press it here. What we want to do is take it to the sewing machine, and we will be folding over that fabric like that, and we will be stitching. So there we go. I'm just going to fold it again, and we're going to stitch as close to the edge of that hem as possible. So I will take it to the machine now and show you how I'm going to do that. And I'll try and zoom in as much as I possibly can. It is hard here with the flickering and the focusing, but I'll do my best shot. Now, because with a double folded hem, you're only ever going to do this on a woven. You're never going to do this on a knit or a stretch. It does not work. So we do a double folded hem on a woven. And what is good about this is you can keep it quite taut and pull it you can put a fair bit of pressure on it as you're sewing this. So you can see here, I am just folding it over twice, and I'm just pointing out again where I'm going to be sewing it. So I'm going to, you can see where the needle is on my machine. So I'm going to be putting the edge of that hem quite close to the left part of my presser foot. And you can see there, I'm probably sewing in like 1 mil, just going to catch the edge of that hem. So I'm hoping the focus here works pretty well. And so like I said, because this is a woven, you can pull it quite taut to keep that hem going through. And there shouldn't be too much bulk or ease where you're having to do here. Oh, you can see here it is going in just quite nicely, and I'm keeping my fingers on it and keeping the pressure on it. So I'll just zoom in so you can see there. And that is essentially a double folded hem. I mean, all we need to do next is go and press it, but I just wanted to show you here. It does look like there's 2 lines of stitching, because remember we've got that old stitch line that we first did that we pressed and folded down, and then we're sewing, we've folded it and then we're sewing again. Now if you're not lining it up too well, you will see those 2 stitch lines. You can kind of just see it there on mine, but no one's going to notice it. Only you know it's there. So there we are. I'm finishing off that double folded hem. Now on this taffeta, there I'm just showing you, there's a nice little close-up of how it looks. So there is our beautiful double folded hem. Now see, on this taffeta, it can look a little like bubbled or puckered, and I guarantee you, no matter what fabric you're doing on it, it will look the same. Don't stress about this though. All you've got to do is hit it with some steam, and you'll see that I'm going to do this here. I'm going to press it and hit it with some steam, and all that kind of bubbled look will just 100% go. So unless it's looking really puckered and really bubbled and you're almost getting like gathers and pleats in it, that's when you're going down a path where it's not working. So you might need to try and do a smaller width of hem. But you can see here, as I'm pressing this, I am pressing out all those sort of bubbles and puckers, and it will come up looking really lovely. And like I said, this was a quite thick polyester taffeta, so I wanted to do a bit of a chunkier hem on it, just because I knew it would sit better on this skirt. It was a full length half circle skirt, so there was a lot of hem, and it was quite a heavy fabric, and this was just the look I wanted it to have. So you can always do a few test pieces as well to see what kind of double folded hem you want, and it is really dependent on your fabric and the finished look that you're after. So that is a double folded hem. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. If you want to see the finished skirt, definitely go have a look on my Instagram. I've got plenty of videos and photos of how it looked. My name's Lorenza, and thank you so much for watching this video.